Hey guys, so for those of you who don't know me, I'm Ben. Um, Most people on here call me Poison, but it's actually Poseidon. Um, if you're watching this, that means that you decided you were going to come to my channel, and I'm very appreciative of that. And this is just a video to address a situation that's very rampant in the world. If you've been here before, you know that my entire life I've battled depression and anxiety, and it's not fun. And I just wanted to give everybody a few hopefully helpful tips that if you know somebody going through depression or who has extreme anxiety and has anxiety attacks, I just wanted to give you guys a few tips to maybe assist or help in some kind of way. Depression is not a joke. It's never been a joke. It's a disease and it kills people just as much as cancer or anything like that you actually hear of every single day. It's not fun and it's not good to live with. But to begin, I introduced myself to you guys, a little bit of background on me. I didn't have the greatest childhood. My dad left when I was young. Didn't really know him half my life. I didn't talk to him, didn't see him, didn't hear from him, nothing. So I grew up without a father, but it was okay because I had uncles and aunts that picked up the slack and raised me as if I was one of their own children. And I know that must have been hard for them because they already had their own kids to think about. I was raised by my mom and my aunt, and if it wasn't for them, I'd probably either be dead or in jail right now. So I wanted to make sure that everybody knows how appreciative I am for them and how happy I am and thankful I am to have them in my life. Back to the topic, depression. It is the silent killer. It really is. The happiest people in the world can be the most depressed people at the same time. You can be smiling and you can make jokes and be happy all the time. But you can have the worst depression in the world. And it's not fun, and it's not a good thing, and it's not something to joke about. Suicide is not something to joke about. Depression is not something to joke about, guys. And I know there are a few people on my channel who come into my streams and say hi that joke about those kind of things, and that's not okay. You can't do that. It'd be like walking up to a kid whose mother had cancer and making a joke about cancer. That's you don't do that. That's just completely unethical and immoral. You should have better standards than that. You should help build people up, not tear them down. I myself, like I said, have battled with depression and anxiety my entire life. And I have my good days and my bad days. But my worst days just get worse and worse every time somebody asks me, "Are you okay? How do you feel? What's wrong?" That be there for somebody who has depression and make sure that they're okay, but don't ask them at the same time. You got to be subtle about it. You can't just come out and be like, "Hey, what's wrong with you? Are you okay?" If something's bothering you, you need to tell me. You just can't do that, you know? Don't get me wrong. I love each and every person who's ever asked me if I'm okay. And every single time somebody asks me if I'm okay, all I do is look at them and say, yeah, I'm fine. Even if I'm not. The worst of days can be brightened by the slightest bit of kindness. And believe it or not, kindness is hard to come by in this at this day and age. It's hard to come by. You don't find it very often. Just make sure that if you have depression or you have anxiety or you're having any kind of a suicidal thought at all, reach out to somebody you care about, somebody you trust, some random stranger on the internet. Like, I was in a very famous Twitch streamer's chat one day, and I was going through something, and I was hurting, and I said something, and somebody immediately messaged me and was like, hey, you need to talk. Just know I'm here for you if you want to talk. And I broke down crying. Just the simple fact that a random stranger was willing to talk to me about my problems with absolutely no regard for theirs. They wanted to put their problems to the side and talk to me. That hit me. It hit me hard. And it's crazy to think about how many good and honorable and loving and trustworthy people are in the world. But in the same time, at the exact same time, there's not as much of that as there used to be. My grandparents told me stories, hundreds of stories, of times when they were my age and they would be in trouble or need some help, or somebody would see them, and just, even if there wasn't anything wrong, people would just stop on the side of the highway or the interstate or the road at all. They'd just stop and be like, hey, you guys all right? You need some help? I can recall on multiple times my grandfather telling me that random strangers gave him the shirt off of their back because he was cold. People don't do that anymore. We should get back to that. That brought us closer together. We're being torn apart by a society that wants to tear us apart, and we're just letting it happen. We're not doing anything about it. So, just understand, when that was happening and stuff like that was going on, back in the good days, as my grandfather would have called it, there weren't as many suicides. There wasn't as much clinically diagnosed depression. Depression is something you never grow out of, and you're never going to get away from it. It's always going to be there. It's going to be creeping inside of you forever. But just know there are people out there who will listen to you and who care. If you ever need anything, you ever just want to cry to somebody, I'm always here. I will stop everything that I'm doing and listen to you. But don't let it get out of hand. Don't let it tear you apart. And I'm talking about this from experience. It will get so bad that you just can't bear it anymore. Don't let it get like that. Reach out, talk to somebody. I'm serious. Just pick up the phone and call somebody. Your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your friends, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents. Just get a hold of somebody and be like, hey, I'm not in a good place right now. Can you talk to me, please? It helps. It really helps. Don't internalize it. Let it out. Because if you internalize it, it's just going to tear you apart, piece by piece and little by little. And you don't want that. Nobody wants that. Each and every single person that has ever subscribed to my channel, each and every single person who's ever even come into my chat and not subscribed and just said, hey man, what's up? I love you, and you mean the world to me. I love making entertainment for you, and I love making videos and streaming and just having the time of my lives and communicating with you guys. I love it. And I don't want to see a single one of you go that far down the rabbit hole that it's impossible to get you back. Reach out and talk to somebody. Okay? That's all for this one. So, as usual, guys, always, always, always have fun. Enjoy your life because it is worth living. And stay beautiful, people.